It's your boy, Jeff Jones.
It is the one and only upset specialist, Thomas Boykin.
And this is 234 Sports Talk. Our boy Mike Jones is not with us tonight. What up, Mike Jones?
Mike in the house.
I want you to do
Always
us a
and
favor and
forever.
hit that subscribe button if you like our content. Let's talk about it, B. Let's talk about it. Terence Crawford, Errol, Spence, Saturday night, it went down. It went down. The unification of the welterweight titles. The fight took place. You and I, we talked about it. Mike Jones talked about it with us. Mike, he thought that Spence would win. You and I, we knew that Bud Crawford was about to take all the belts. And Bud did just that. Bud literally destroyed Errol Spence. When you look at this fight, what do you think about this fight?
It was like I anticipated. I predicted in the last show that this is going to be a Floyd Mayweather type lesson teaching event. And this is what Bud went out and did, went out and taught Spence a lesson. He gave him 101 boxing lesson. 2-inch reach means everything. When you go low, I got something for when you reach, I teach. Same thing Michael Jordan said, when you reach, I teach. So when he reach, bop, bop, he catching. He ain't seen, like we talked about earlier in our earlier shows, nothing against Spence. Spence is a great fighter. A great fighter. But when you're talking about Bud Crawford, you're talking about a guy that's skilled in what he does. That dude is a trained assassin. It's almost like he can turn the switch on when he's ready to turn the switch on. I mean, the guy is just phenomenal. Congrats to him for the unification of all 4 belts. I know he's earned it. He's worked hard for it. Spence, I don't know if he signed a rematch clause or if there's going to be a rematch. But if there's going to be a rematch, he's got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. He's got to come up with a whole different game plan of how to attack Bud. He's got to understand you're not going to pressure Bud and make Bud do what he doesn't want to do. It's not going to happen. It's too many advantages in Bud's favor. He's got to do something unpredictable and make Bud think about it. But if that's the best he's got, no shot. No shot at all.
Speaking of this rematch clause, there is a rematch clause in this contract. Now, as I looked at this fight, I'm telling you, it almost hurts you to your heart really to see it. And a lot of people that I've seen that commented on the fight, they said the same thing. It was, from round 1, it was the fill-out process, of course. And you really thought that this was going to be an epic fight because, these two guys are 2 great fighters. But then from round 2 on, Bud put on a boxing clinic. Man, Bud literally dismantled Errol Spence. There was nothing that Errol Spence could do, nothing that could work or would work against Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford, man, he looked spectacular, man. I'm telling you, when I tell you his confidence level was through the roof, it was almost as if, he was fighting an amateur fighter. And he was handing out a lot of punishment to Errol Spence. And I was almost, to myself, like, man, maybe the refs should stop this. But I think that the stoppage in the 9th round, it was a timely stoppage because I feel like nobody could dispute the stoppage. And I think that's what the ref wanted to do, make sure that he was really in serious trouble and that, when he stepped in. And he did just that, man. I'm telling you, it was bad to watch, man. And the damage that he took, matter of fact, when I saw the pictures after the fight of his face, and I was like, I felt bad for the man. I really did. Now, speaking of this rematch, I ain't talking about Errol may want to fight him again, I believe at 153.
Ain't
Do
gonna
you
make a difference.
believe that he would, have a better showing at 153, 157, whatever they wanted to go up to?
Nah. The only thing that you're gonna do is increase Bud's strength. If he hit harder at the weight he's at now, 153, how much harder you think he's gonna hit you? Come on, man. You thought you endured punishment then. You talking about going up in weight. Now you talking about making it worse. Because the dude is still gonna be phenomenally quick with his jab, strong with his power shots, and still manipulate him around and bully him around to do what he wants to do. You're asking for a more serious whooping at 153. My point of view. Because if you're a brawler, that's all you know. But if you're a boxer, you can adapt to anything that's thrown at you. And Bud clearly, head and shoulders better boxer. I mean, there's no other way to explain it. Spence was outclassed the whole fight. He was outclassed.
Well, he well, talking about Spence, he had the WBC title, he had the WBA title, and he had the IBF title. And Crawford took those belts and added them to his WBO title and unified the belts at the welterweight division. First man to ever do so.
Yes, sir. It's hard to believe with the history. That's hard to believe with the history of the welterweight division. That's hard to believe. That this is the first time that they've been unified. That's amazing. If you look at the greats that's been in the welterweight division, it's spectacular that none of them ever unified the belts. That's amazing to me. You're talking about Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Hands of Stone. Come on, man. Them is major league hitters. Them is major league players that never unified the belt. That's amazing.
Do you believe, Mr. Boykin, that this solidifies Bud Crawford as the best pound for pound boxer out there today?
Hands down. There's no argument about the work. You can't say he didn't fight a champion. He fought a champion with 3 belts and destroyed him. Not outboxed him, destroyed him. Come on, man. This guy's got to be clearly the pound. At the welterweight division, he clearly pound for pound the best fighter out there in the welterweight division. Clearly.
I don't see anybody touching Bud. I really don't. And we were speaking about this rematch clause. I'm hoping that Spence doesn't activate this rematch clause. I'm hoping, and I'm not saying that in a joking manner. I'm saying that because out of concern for Spence's health, man. He took a lot of punishment, man. And like you said, if he did it again, if they ran it back, I think it'd be worse. I think it would be worse because I think Bud would really try to make a statement and take care of him, maybe 4 or 5 rounds.
That's the other thing I was getting ready to say. If he signs a rematch clause, this might be a quicker fight because he already knows what to expect. So all Crawford's going to do is first round, whenever he finishes him, he's just going to be on him. And it goes back to what we talked about earlier shows. Everybody's used to Spence pressuring. It's going to come down to how Spence handles pressure. And clearly he can't handle pressure.
He looked real slow all night long. I mean, when you have a fighter, man, the caliber of Bud Crawford, we talked about his hand speed. You saw the hand speed. You look at his footwork. He has dynamic footwork. The man, I'm telling you, is a master in the ring, and we've been saying this. We've been saying this. There's been a lot of people, from the Spence camp. I'm talking, when I say the Spence camp, I'm talking about the fans, the boxing fans that thought
Absolutely.
that Spence would win this fight. A lot of them disagreed with us. And once again, we always tell you here on this show that it's cool to disagree. We can agree to disagree. That's all right. You got an opinion like we got an opinion. But
Absolutely.
Saturday night,
Facts is facts.
the record reflected who's the best. The record definitely reflected that Bud is the best. And I'm telling you right now, I think that if I'm Terence, I mean not Terence Crawford, if I'm Spence, Errol Spence, I'm thinking about maybe finding another tree to bark up because this is not the one. I don't think if I'm him, I wouldn't even want, I wouldn't let my ego get the best of me, my pride get the best of me, let all my, those in my camp saying, man, you got to run this back. I wouldn't even let them do it for the simple fact that, okay, what's going to happen once he gets in the ring with Bud again and gets destroyed again? Then where does he go from there?
Right.
You
Right.
know, boxing great Roy Jones Jr., before this fight, he said that when you looked at Terence Crawford and you looked at Errol Spence, he said that Terence Crawford was the better boxer, the better fighter. And he felt like he would win this fight. And he said that Errol Spence took it personally and really got upset about it. He said, man, I just told the truth. No, using his boxing IQ, he saw what he saw and he made that statement. And Errol took offense to it. But he wasn't lying.
Well, if you look at how he fought him pretty much like just like he fought him just like old boy would fight. He looked like, matter of fact, he looked like a younger in shape Roy Jones Jr. Hey, and you know how Roy used to get down. Roy used to get down.
Roy was the guy when he was on top of his game. Nobody was touching him.
Nah.
Nobody. Let me tell you something. The first time I knew Roy was going to be super, super special is when he dominated James Lights Out Tony. And you know what James Lights Out Tony was doing.
Oh yeah.
When he dominated James Lights Out Tony, I knew Roy Jones Jr. was going to be something special.
Nobody's seen any a light heavyweight or a heavyweight that quick, that fast, with that much power, other than Muhammad Ali.
And we talked about the power of Crawford. We talked about it. You mentioned it.
Absolutely.
You mentioned
Absolutely.
it. You talked about the hand speed. You talked about the power. And a lot of people thought that Errol Spence would bully him, would have his way, would work his body, would wear him down. None of that transpired. None of it took place.
Basically, like I said, you can attack the body, but when you're giving up 2 inches, you're gonna get hit every time you try to duck in. You're gonna get hit. If you got a skilled boxer like Crawford is, every time you try to go to body, you're gonna get hit, or you're gonna get dodged and get pushed out the way. But some kind of way, it's not gonna be an easy task to get to the body. It's just not. Crawford's just not gonna let you walk in and do that. So if Spence signs a rematch clause, he's got, like I said, he's got a lot of work to do, a lot of training to do, and a lot of game planning to do, because he got to come up with a whole different game plan. And that's
Yeah.
where it's going to have to be if your coaches know what they're doing.
B, I'm gonna tell you, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's a game plan on God's green earth that Spence could come up with where he would beat Terence Crawford. I just don't see it. His
Well,
skills are just too great. The skills are just too great.
there's well, the one thing that's in Terence Crawford's favor, one thing you can't teach is speed. Speed, either you got it or you don't. Power can be instituted. Power can be worked on. But if you ain't got speed, speed is one thing that is a natural gift. Either you got it or you don't. And Crawford clearly was gifted with speed, because he was hitting He was hitting Spence like a trip hammer, dude.
Yeah, a couple of those knockdowns, man, it was almost like he threw him. The power, the force from those punches, man, just threw him around the ring. And
I thought it would
he
go
got
at
up a
least.
couple times and he was a little woozy.
I thought it might go 11 even after the knockdowns. I thought it might go 11. I didn't after the knockdown. I didn't think it'd go 12. I figured, yeah, he might go 11, maybe 10. But Crawford said, nah, 9. He's done.
I was amazed at the angles that Crawford was able to catch him with in close quarters. And you talked about this. You talked about this on one of our prior shows. You talked about this if it went close quarters, that Crawford could do work in close quarters. A lot of people thought that would be a bad idea. That would be a mistake. But some of the angles he was catching him with, uppercuts and right hooks, man, it was just nasty.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing at close quarters? All you doing is saying, Crawford, go ahead and hit, because you go get hit. Plain and simple. You come there, I'm gonna fight you close quarters. Crawford like, okay, we can do this. Then he found out it was a bad idea.
Well, I thought that this fight would be closer. I really did. I didn't expect it to be a landslide. I really didn't.
Too. I didn't expect a beatdown for real. I expected a good fight, but not a beatdown. That was a beatdown.
That's like when somebody owe you money, that was the type of whooping when you.
Hey, he got Debo, dude.
Yeah,
he got Debo.
No disrespect to the man. But he did.
He said, "What you got on my belt, homie?"
I saw a video, man, where they were standing together, and Spence had all the belts, and Crawford looked at him and he said, "That does look real nice." And he said, "Too bad I'm gonna have to take him." And he did exactly what he said he was gonna do. That cat came to put in work.
I'm surprised ain't nobody put up the Chris Tucker video after they looked at it.
Damn. I've seen that one. Yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen the Martin episode where the hitman beat up Martin. I've seen a few of them, man. It's man. Like I said, my heart really goes out to the guy, because I thought that he was going, have a better showing. And it just didn't happen for him, man.
He begged for this.
Yeah.
He begged for this. He told that man he wasn't qualified to fight. He ain't fought nobody.
Yeah. Was a lot of talking going on.
Sometimes it's best to be quiet and humble. I understand you're supposed to be, as a boxer, this confidence, I can knock you out, I can whoop you. But there's a time when truth is true. If you just know somebody's better, you just know. And with what? Now that's what? 34 knockouts for Bud? In 40 fights? Come on, man. You already know. That's telling you the man is powerful. That's clearly telling you the man is powerful.
Man, Bud really did his thing. And our hat goes out to let's give Terence his due. I mean, our hat goes out, off to him. The man did what he said he was gonna do, and he unified all the belts. And we wanna say that, good showing as far as his heart, for Errol Spence.
Good.
Because a lot of boxers.
That was a stupendous showing.
Yeah, a lot of boxers after, getting beat that way, man, they would have just threw in the towel. It would have been over. But he has heart, man. He got back up and he did what he could do.
I'm surprised in the corner didn't throw in the towel like Spence's last fight would do, throwing the towel.
Yeah, I think if they would have made it out of the 9th round, they might have considered it. I think if they would have made out that ninth round, they probably would have threw that towel in.
That dude was taking some shots.
Yeah, he was. He was taking some heavy shots. Some heavy shots. And if they showed a couple of the replays, man, and man, it was just nasty. It was just nasty, man. It was nasty. And I'm talking the type of shots he was taking is brain damage shots, you know, brain damage. Those are the type of shots that he was taking.
Scramble your brain, scramble your eggs for a second, bro.
Yep. Well, B, we've talked about it. And until the next time, it's been 234 Sports Talk. You can catch us right here on YouTube. You can catch us on Twitter. You can catch us on TikTok. You can catch us on Instagram. And we want you to comment. Leave a comment. Talk to us. Whether you like what we said, whether you didn't like what we said, leave us a comment. And we reply to every comment. Want you to push that subscribe button. Want you to like. Want you to subscribe. Until the next time, it's been 234 Sports Talk.
Mike Jones, holla at us, bro.
Jones.